Hello, I am live and I am painting and talking. Uh, I did not have my setup set up correctly at first, so I'm messing around a little bit. Let me position you near the painting. Look at that. That's where the painting's going to be. All right. We are almost fully operational. I should have planned this better. I did not plan it well at all, but I'm still not really planning it well. I didn't have, I hit the go live thing, and I was not near my painting center, and I had not opened any of my tools. A lot of no nos here. And then I say and that's a no. But welcome to Paintin' and Talkin'. It's this little series I've decided to do as I sort of get into the art, kind of art, as I call it. My lighting is not great. My framing is not great. Normally I do this with my phone, and I am on my, I have a tripod and everything, but look, this is my maiden voyage. A lot of maiden voyages on YouTube, I'll tell you. A lot of maiden voyages. A lot of them involve families from other countries trying peanut butter and jelly for the first time. But this is not that. This is, a discovery of art. And I think this is very poorly thought out on my part. Usually I paint on acrylics, and usually I paint on acrylics, paint with acrylics on canvas. I've been doing it on Instagram. I haven't really done, I'm just sort of trying different avenues, different streaming avenues. And look, this is not a good setup. And hopefully the more I do this, the better the setup gets. But what I want to do is I want to just mess around with watercolor. I've never painted with watercolor before. And look, I've got stuff to do today, but I just wanted to mess around a little bit, despite not really knowing what I'm doing. And look, this might be deleted in an hour, but I wanna document my futzing around. Not the best framing. I got like this thing is in here. Do I need it in there? Hold on. So I have been generally just messing around with acrylics, and I don't really know. I've never painted with watercolor before, and I just wanted to have an experience. Don't really know what that means. I look at, I have this set I bought at Ross. I don't know if you know this, but Ross Dress for Less also sells painting supplies. So I went to Ross, and I'm getting a little blue here. And I don't know, do you put it on a palette, or do you just start putting it on the paper? I wanted, look at this. This is kind of fun. I got this blue and I'm creating I do stand-up comedy for anyone who doesn't know, which is I don't think anyone would know because I'm just a guy live streaming trying to use a watercolor paints. Why would you know I do comedy? Um, and I've been talking about like starting to do, and a lot of people are like telling me, "Oh, you should try watercolor." And I've been painting with acrylics, and I really like it. But look, I think it's fun to try other. Um, this doesn't feel stable at all. I should probably. It does feel like I'm doing something with like a marker, like a very poorly. Um, like a marker that's losing its luster very quickly, and you just have to keep refilling it, which I guess, if you're watercoloring, I think I just need a better setup because it is very, I think I need to be doing it with the other, in the other direction with it lying flat instead of this resting up against the wall because it's not providing stability. But this is like the trial and error. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I hopefully am it's a discovery process, it's a learning process, and I think any sort of artistic endeavor is uh, an exploratory. It's all about exploration, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm exploring the concept, the idea, not the concept, but the practice of painting with watercolor. And I have to say, in the first few strokes of using watercolor, I I don't know. I think I might be treating it too much like painting with acrylics and finding it a little like, oh no, it's not working in the same way. Like the same consistency. It doesn't have the same consistency, which, you know, is fine. It's like what are you painting, Evan? Honestly, I don't know. My first idea with watercolor was just watercolor. Let's go down the you know let's get deeper and deeper into the ocean, maybe. Like this is like the top of the sea or the lake or the bright blue facade. Not but the bright blue marine. I don't know what you call the layers of the sea. I'm going to be honest. I think the best thing to do in these situations is to be honest and plead and admit ignorance of your. This is like the color of the Coors can. It's the color the Coors can is supposed to be when it's cold. What am I doing? Okay. And I want to get that color out of there, right? Is that how you do it? I think I'm just going to really screw this up. You just go, oops, oops. How do you clean the color off of a watercolor? And then I want to go like a little bit deeper into the ocean, you know? And how do I do that? You just get a little bit darker. You get a little bit darker. And you go, oh, I think that's the same color. Or I'm just, okay, let's get darker. I think I'm already messing up these. Little painting. You know, when it gets darker and deeper in the ocean, there's like just more stuff that lives under there. That's where all the interesting stuff is. People think the interesting stuff is in space. Nope. The interesting stuff is down at the bottom, the murky bottom of the ocean. I feel like that stuff looks like our current president's signature. You ever just go like, all right, I tried. It's not that I don't. Obviously, this is a beginner's project, and I don't think anyone will necessarily latch on to it, but it's a lovely day in LA, and I'm inside watercoloring. All because, look, I have found painting with acrylics very fulfilling. But a bunch of people were just like, you should try watercolors. And right now, acrylics are winning. But I will say where I think watercolor will win is cleanup. Because look, I've been painting with acrylics for like 2 months and I've yet to clean up. I'm just like, I don't really feel like there's just like dirty water in places in my apartment, which not really appealing to anybody. And I want to get like darker and then just like darker. And I probably won't effectively do it because I still do not really know what I'm doing here. But I think the discovery is the important part. And I think that this color should have probably gone above this other color. I don't really know. I probably should have gone for like drawing a figure instead of drawing marine layers. But I don't have like the delicate hand to like draw figures. And I like the abstractness of it. This isn't necessarily abstract. It's just kind of, it's pretty obvious that I'm just drawing layers. But kind of just wanted them to blend into each other. Um, it's just, this is just a test, you know. I'm not trying to demean myself by saying that. I'm just I just know that this is not a great work of art. And I'm not saying I'm not capable. Look, if you look on my Instagram page, if you find my Instagram page, you'll see that I'm like kind of working on it, you know? Not that anything I've made on there is like a great work of art, but it feels more feels uh much more, I don't want to say accomplished, but it feels like I'm kind of figuring it out a little better. And obviously, this is the first go of watercolors. And the good thing is I have these. This is the first time I'm using one of these in here, and perhaps I should have thought of that sooner. Um, I don't typically like to have, you know, poke holes in paintings, but ooh, for the starting, you know, for this first effort, we'll do that. Whoa, back! I am back. Boo, boo, boo. It's all just, it's very basic. And then I want to just kind of get into like a greenish gray, maybe a darker green. Where am I going here? Maybe it's a green. See, now it's just that this color is, I don't know if I'm messing up this whole operation, but you know, it's okay. I think I'm supposed to be doing something differently. Now I keep going the wrong hue. I keep going brighter when I should be going darker. But I've got some ideas. Just want to blend it. I think I went with the wrong green. I think I had a different green in mind that I just uh, went in there with the wrong one. But that's okay. There's nothing set in stone about how to do this. I mean, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's obvious practices. And I think sometimes, like, deeper you get into the ocean, the colors just kind of shift anyway. And it's okay if this is like, maybe there's a sort of flora layer before it gets even darker, you know? Is this art or is it squiggle? It's just a test right now. And I think I want to do, hold on. See, when you do it, it just goes away. And then you're like, okay, I think I figured this out. See, that's a different green. But it kind of comes across the same. I think it's just because of how watery it is. I want to be in like the recesses of the deep blue sea. But you know, I might just start doing watercolors in a. I'm doing it on live stream, but I might start doing it and just like it, not because this is embarrassing, but in a way, sort of. But because I really want to just like figure out my process with painting it. I think this is like so right now what I'm doing doesn't leave me doesn't feel like it's giving me an opportunity to like see things that I can make. Once I figure out that sort of it's too light. Again, I think I'm just using the same colors over and over again, even though I don't think I am. I like the idea that it could all like bleed into each other though. I like the process of like blending. This is such a flawed process I'm going through, which also flawed processes can also be beautiful, you know, because we're learning what we're capable of and what we're not capable of. Um, See, I wanted to get to this color. I want to get deeper into this bottom of the ocean. This is where I want it to live, you know? This darker green. Once you get to this color in the bottom of the ocean, it's like it's all the fish that you never every fish and like living being at the bottom of the ocean looks like the Cantina band from Star Wars, you know? There's all these like little weird. Yes, I'm aware I have no technique. No one's talking to me right now, but I'm aware I have no technique. And then I just want to get, I want to fill up the bottom with this dark gray. This is where the dregs of the ocean live. But I always find that it's like pretty nice and no matter what you're making or not making. Oh, what did I do there? I think that's right. Whatever you're making or not making, the whole process is pretty fun and peaceful. To just be getting in there and attempting to create. And I know this looks like and it is the quality of a second grader, maybe even below the quality of a second grader. But I think the societal impulse is to be like, if you're not good at art, don't do art, and I don't think that should be the prevailing opinion at all. I think people should make art no matter how old they are, no matter how good they are at it. And I think making art is like essential to life. So whether or not I'm currently killing it, which I know I'm not, there's an energy that I'm using that is going towards creating. When we live in a world where a lot of people use their energy to break things down and destroy and blow blow things up, hurt people. But it's like, look, I'm doing this right now. Who's getting hurt? Nobody. Maybe your artistic sensibility is aching. Maybe you're offended by the, by the sloppiness of it all. But I'm just endeavoring to like mess around and see what I can drum up with complete sloppiness, if we're being honest. And we're being honest. I think art is such a great avenue for honesty. And look, I have the artistic ability of, at best, well, right now, as it stands with this particular watercolor thing, I have the artistic ability of a 4-year-old that you hand a brush and say, I don't know, do something for the next 45 minutes. Leave me alone. And they will, because you gave them a paintbrush. And you gave them some colors. And they're kind of at peace, and they're not, punching their sister or something. Or their brother. Or this is like so tragic. This image is like, I mean, if anyone wants to buy it, it's going to be worth $1 billion someday after I cut my ear off, I'm kidding. I'm not planning on cutting my ear off anytime soon, but you never know. People have cut their ears off for less. Kind of fun just to like throw another type of stroke in there, another type of another direction. And I don't know if that necessarily gives it like a layer, but there's something very satisfying about it. Something very satisfying about making following your instinct and just painting the way you want to in that moment. Too much as an adult, like you don't follow your impulses because of what people might think or say. And as long as your impulses are not destructive, I say follow them, you know? I say follow them. Oop. Okay. What did I even do here? Is this one? Is this layer? Yeah. You know, we're just playing with watercolors and seeing what happens when watercolors stop being polite and start getting real. The real world watercolor edition. Did I use that? I think I used this. Yeah. It's a mess. It is not fine tuned or anything. It is just I'm just sort of sinking to the depths here. And look, I've never been that deep in the ocean. Maybe that's what it's like. Maybe it's just like, what the crap is going on here? Someone just looks like someone just took a watercolor brush and just wiped it all around. I hope they were creating something uh, worth seeing, you know. And maybe it is worth seeing, you know. Let's see what we got. I think we're like this, that, and the other. Who knows? Who knows what I've done? I'm just haphazardly layering things. And not even hoping that it becomes a masterpiece, just trying to get a handle on what it's like. I think I need to go. I mean, this is pretty simple, but I think I need to do even more basic next time and try to not completely cover the canvas. Maybe just try to like draw something next time. But can't hurt to do what I've done already. I mean, who knows? Maybe it can. But what I like about this watercolor mess is, as far as like cleaning up after yourself, you know, with acrylics, you have to worry about, am I, you know, it's plastic, so all of your waste from acrylics is essentially pollution, and you can't just pour it down the drain. You know, these are water based. They're watercolors, and you're not gonna ruin the pipes in your apartment if you pour it down the sink after. And then I'll just do this again. Who knows? I kind of, maybe you get like let's go red. Maybe you try to do a little, look, there's like a surfboard. It's a surfboard? I don't know. I called it a surfboard. It doesn't have to be one, but I can try to turn it into one, I guess. Like, what do you do? How do you make? There's a guy on the surfboard. Just go. It's like it looks like a, oh, we got some drippage into the ocean. God, the guy cut himself on the surfboard. His arms are out. Maybe he's like a blonde dude. Hold on. I want to give him like surfer hair. Maybe he gets brown hair. Oh, not so much. Too watery. Too watery. Let's dry it up a little bit. Still too watery. You know, the problem with watercolors, obviously now gravity. But look, this guy cut himself on the surfboard. He's bleeding into the ocean. That'll happen. And then like what happens, you know? Do we get like jaws? Can I draw jaws? Done it. Maybe this is a jaws color. Done it. Sort of the same color, but you know, it's the ocean. It's a shark in the ocean that I don't know how to draw. I like the suggestion of a shark. Well, I'm kind of, by painting through him, I'm like taking away that suggestion, but hmm. I kind of like it though. I always, whenever I end up painting something, there's something about it that ultimately like I end up appreciating, even if it's like just a mistake. Because a lot of times the mistakes give life there. And I don't know what a shark looks like, but I mean, I know what they look like, but I don't know how to paint them. Is it a shark or is it a submarine? You know, and it's all kind of silly anyway. But maybe we got like I'm gonna use like a purple. I do like we got like a squid down here. They're like or it's like a jellyfish. It doesn't really matter. You can put anything at the bottom of the ocean because it's like so weird down there. Like everything down here is just kind of nonsensical. It's like whatever you think aliens look like, that's what's down there. This could be like the hugest squid you've ever seen. It could be like a rhinoceros. It could be like, there could be something called a sea rhinoceros. And I've never looked up to see if there's anything like that, but like, I like the idea of just painting suggestions of things that, you know, like outlines of things that could live at the bottom of the ocean, you know? This kind of looks like the shark kind of looks like a plane. And there's way more than just the sea, the squid or whatever that's down there. You know, there's like, I don't know what this thing is, but it's like, whoa, big eel or something just living under there. Whoa. I don't know why I'm putting them all at the same level, but maybe the eel has like arms too. It's just like, whoa. It looks kind of like, I don't know. Under the sea, under the sea. Watercolor test number one. Take it from me. There's like, here's a little, like a, like a giant lobster. But he's like, it's like but it's called like a sea devil or something. Little antenna coming out. Like literally anything could live in the ocean. Anything. I don't even know. Like the imagine. Our imagination can make up some pretty wild things. But like you see footage from the bottom of the ocean, you're like, oh, my imagination never thought of that. I don't think anybody's imagination ever thought of that. You ever see a seahorse? Man, those things are crazy looking. I want to just maybe there's some shore. Oh, that's not what I was doing. This is just like a little. Doesn't I don't think the shore. I think there's still stuff going on even further below. I don't know why I like drew the shore out there and not made it a whole thing, but maybe it's just like a thing of rocks jutting out. I don't know if that makes any sense, but please allow, I'll say. Please allow for my nonsensical. There's like little rocks and deep sea caves and things things that are underneath them. I don't know. It's not necessarily like the shore. It's just look, this is all my watercolor learning process. And maybe there's also like always going to be like schools of brilliantly colored fish. So like, I don't know, you're not even going to see that, but you just get these little, they're everywhere, you know? If you're ever in the ocean and you just look down, you'll be like, there's thousands of fish below me. And I think I'm gonna end this soon, but I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with this, but shit, it's kind of a fun little they're all mixed in. Differently, brilliantly colored fish. There could be pink fish in there. They're probably called pink fish. They're probably not even named anything. Hootie and the Blowfish. And then I could do like one more weird animal. one more weird fish in like a standout color, but I don't really have any standout colors right now. That's something. Maybe if I did like a whale. Haven't used black yet. Use like, ooh. Ooh. This is the most primitive looking underwater thing I could imagine. Most 4-year-old imagined underwater art class orca. Art class orca is a good name for a band. But we got an art class orca. They all just kind of look like weird submarines. Hopefully they're destroying yachts, though. I don't know if watercolor is my jam, but I also feel like it's a good thing to have. I was toying with the idea of using the watercolor on the painting, on my like acrylic painting, just to like see if it adds anything, or even, I'm not going to say what this white paint looks like. This watery, now it's dripping. We have a, I'll say it. I'll say we have an injured sperm whale, and he's losing material. He's released the hounds before he got to the donation site. That's what it looks like. He's drooling a bit. Free Willy. Really just a terrible rendering of anything. But I'm still in there. Still in there making it happen. We got a bleeding surfer with a shark. We got a whale below him. We got some super crab, a giant squid, and a weird eel with arms. I know we can make so many, and some schools of fish here. I think I want to make more schools of fish, and then I think we're done. I used up an hour of time of my own life. And that's that. It's a child's painting, and I'm fine with it. Watercolor. I can't say word. Was trying to say a word. I was going to say watercolor test out, but we did it. I think I want to, every time I think I'm done, it keeps pulling me back in. I think I just want to do a little more on this squid, this purple squid. I think it's the crowning achievement of this painting is this purple squid or the bleeding surfer. It's fine. That's that. Okay. Painting out. Painting and Talkin. Watercolor test 1 and done. End stream. I know no one's watched, but look, maybe eventually, and I'll be doing acrylics too. So, all right. Goodbye.